I'm glad it was an experiential
Mhm.
situation because I had a chance to look within myself to actually see elderhood in me, and and the experience was to have me be settled and okay with actually being an elder
Mhm.
because um, and I appreciate it because when you look back at some of the ancient civilizations, the elders were the ones who were providing leadership for the
Mhm.
community. And
Mhm.
it seemed like we've kind of shifted now where elders are being placed in warehouses that we call nursing homes.
Mm.
So it was like a cultural shift for me, or for me to get in touch with the value and the importance, really, of having our elders be honored
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
acknowledged. I'm over 70 now, and I have grandchildren,
Mhm.
and so it represents um, eldership for me. Like from time to time, I think about myself as an elder, but most of the time I don't. Like I
Mhm.
go out, I play tennis, I run, I jog. I notice I have a little gray in my beard. And so this experience where we have, other people, we had approximately what 10 to 12 other people
Mhm.
who were engaging in the same conversation and looking for themselves, um, dwelling in this conversation of elderhood. It was great to be in a group. We point the finger at the young people. We're really pointing the finger at us
Mhm.
because they are how they show up because of what they got or didn't
Mhm.
get that as an experience. So maybe it's by our acts of omission, and maybe the elders in the communities are the ones who could take responsibility for leadership in terms of creating community.
I guess I was expecting a blow by blow instruction guide on how to be an elder.
Mhm.
And so it was a little different than what I expected, but I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Mhm.
And I got a lot out of it um, because I guess what um, I was looking for an instruction and I wasn't thinking about the impact that the other members of the group would have on me,
Mhm.
listening to their experience. So I think that's what I really got out of it, listening to people with similar and different experience than my own and
Mhm.
different outlook. They've I've learned that I know a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
I know a lot of stuff, and people come to me, say, Bill, how you know that? How would you know that? I think if you stick around long enough,
Mhm.
and pay attention,
Okay.
you got to pick up something.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so I know a lot of stuff, and there's a problem, an issue, a riddle that I haven't solved yet, and that's why I'm seeking these avenues of eldership, and that's the intergenerational transfer of knowledge and culture.
Mhm.
A lot of I don't really think about my age, like when they say seniors, I coined the term a junior senior because when people were saying seniors, I'm like, who are you talking about? You're not talking about me, because I feel like I feel young in my mind,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I still think that I'm seeing things from a young perspective. And I don't know why that is, because some of the gentlemen my age, they have their their mode of thinking has changed. I guess I could say they're thinking like old men.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I don't ever want. And fortunately, my wife thinks young too, and
Mhm.
so we can sit and have conversations with young people. And in fact, most people don't have a clue how old I am. You know,
Mhm.
they when I tell them I'm 73, they go, "Wow, really?" And so, especially since I shaved all the gray off, what it is, I try to tell people, don't forget how it was when you were young, you know? I remember how stupid I was, you know? I remember my warped thinking and, you know, and so I can relate to younger people, you know what I mean? I don't have to judge them because, hey, if I told you the stupid stuff I did, you know, so, you know, most of them are doing better than me. I'm just lucky, you know, that I'm not dead, you know? And so I think some of the older people look down on that generation, you know? And I don't. I look sideways. I'm like, I'm still not trying to be young, but I understand what it means to be young. And so I see guys that, you know, it's like their thinking starts changing after they get old, you know, you go from eldership to, he had a couple of levels, but then the last level was being an ancestor, you know. Eventually I'm going to be an ancestor, you know. To think on those terms, I had never thought about that. You know, all I was thinking about was giving what I had to the kid. Yeah, and so now what I'm thinking about is getting more from the ancestors, because I already got a lot from them, and pouring that into the next generation.
When I did get into it, I learned that it was more people than just myself that are in eldership. More people my peers, if you will, that were in eldership. And that really brought an interest to me. Now I feel that I'm a part of eldership, and that is a part of me, and that there are people all around the world that's a part of this eldership. The greater understanding that I gain is that I'm not alone. You know, as people like-minded, as people that are my peers, and not only are they just in my community, they're around the world. You know, and with this understanding, I feel that I'm a part of something, and not just a single elder. I would recommend it to them because, you know, we need to stand up with the knowledge, you know, that we're all involved with that we're all revolved with one another. The knowledge, you know, because there's a knowledge that, like I said, there's a knowledge that you just stand out. Like I said, before I got the eldership class, it was my own knowledge. But then when I got the eldership class, I could recommend to somebody else. Man, it's a vaster knowledge out there, you know? And it's a number of people out there, you know, with a number of like-minded people. It's entitled Eldership. In the mirror, I peer, a vision so clear, standing in the midst, an image, eldership, once known as a myth. Is this my glory at 66? Ignoring hardship, as the physician insists, you must have this, or you'll cease to exist. But unto God did I commit, and yet one day did I not miss eldership, coping with the characteristics and arrogancies of today's society, a loss of youthful royalty, challenges of modern technology, a wave of equality. With all this, have I yet survived eldership? And though I refuse to relent, I'll move with a newness of strength, fully equipped in my journey, eldership.
The course had me look in some areas to begin to develop what I say is my responsibility as an elder. And you know, one of the examples is the wisdom that is transferred from one generation to the other through, you know, just statements. Money don't grow on trees. Different kinds of wisdom that is emoted, that is related, that stays with you, and you end up passing it to your legacy.
Mhm.
So the legacy that was given to you sometimes get passed on by you. And what
Mhm.
I noticed is that there were a few things that I didn't necessarily agree with, but I had noticed that I had passed them along as well.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
there was an opportunity for me to, again, be responsible for my speaking, be responsible that people will listen me a particular way because I am an elder. And
Mhm.
so all of those things, as I said, kind of gotten amped up, ginned up, so that I'm much more aware of the responsibility that I have. Not that I didn't have it before, but it's like, yeah, if you're an elder, what are you really creating for a legacy for your future generations? And I don't know that I ever thought about that fully before I did this coursework. I came into the course probably a 1 or a 2.
Mhm.
I'm clearly at least a 3 or maybe even 4 in terms of understanding the ramifications, understanding the impact,
Mhm.
understanding the creation of my elders to me and their influence. Coursework really had me look from an elder perspective, as opposed to, just a guy that is interested in empowerment and transformation.
Mhm.
It's now given me another kind of hat to wear in terms of my looking. Where am I looking from? Where can I influence, and how do I influence?
Mhm.
And you talked about it a little bit just before you asked the question in terms of the relationships. I think the course introduced me
Mhm.
to the principles of eldership, and I don't know that I'll ever be a 5.
Mhm.
Um, I'm a work in progress. This whole conversation, responsibility, the responsibility, ownership, and accountability.
Mhm.
Those are interestingly enough, those are 3 of what I consider one of the most perspectives inside of the International Black Youth Summit, is
Mhm.
having them, ownership, responsibility, and accountability. And so this course has given me those access to those areas as an elder,
Mhm.
looking through the eyes of an elder. So it's kind of like, the rose colored glasses. It changes the imagery that you end up seeing. And so this course has given me a different viewpoint, a different tint, a different perspective in terms of my looking, and has expanded it in the realm of, being responsible, accountable, and owning elder as a place, and as a honorary place. I've always honored my elders, and so there's the kind of like, oh, but you're one now. So it's an interesting place for me to discover myself, to begin to define it for yourself, as
Mhm.
opposed to just, bumping into it and hoping that, it works, sort of with blinders on.
Mhm.
This is this workshop opens up the whole perspective of, well, I know you had an idea of being an elder coming into this,
Mhm.
but now that you're in it, now what's available? So that the workshop provides that widening angle so that you
Mhm.
can include all of the aspects of eldership that are possible. the other thing I wanted to add and let people know is that it's actually fun discovering your eldership shipness. But I think that's a great idea. I love the idea of having those kind of conversations.
What I intend, what I hope for, to come
Mhm.
in with a more or less as open a mind as possible. So I really didn't want to expect anything. Great to be with my tribe, to be with elders, just the coolest thing. And to be in a conversation with other people who are seniors who are committed to becoming elders. I just thought that was great and a rare privilege. So to be in a space where people are grappling with some things, and with that whole conversation and inquiring into it, it's very inspiring and amplifies hope for humanity, I think, for me. It's just great having that conversation. I'm telling you, because it isn't usual. And so many of us have not noticed that we've been brainwashed into worshiping at the altar of youth. So to have some people who are aware of it, maybe not specifically stated that way, but there's awareness given that we came together to explore the possibilities of eldership. This is, I can't tell you the blessing that is to me. There really were a variety of perspectives on it. That was helpful. So it got to hear about various parts of the elephant, so to speak, and clear that none of them constituted the whole, in and of themselves. So that was good. That was really good. And the spiritual nature of being an elder is something that I really appreciated. And it's in alignment with my own conversations and inquiries and journeys into elderhood. That, it's a gift conferred. How most people, there are a lot of people in the world, most folk don't live to be as old as we do in the West. That I even have the opportunity to explore the possibility of being an elder. Not that you have to be a senior citizen, like I say a lot, you could be 10 and be an elder in spirit and mind. I have a tribe. That's different, it's a name tribe. People have names. I know these folk. I can say anything with, to them and with them. I can be really, really vulnerable with them. And defining myself as an elder gives me space to play. Literally a space to play. That's the arena that understanding eldership provides for me. I have a space to play around with the whole conversation. It's not just an is. So I understand myself more as a possibility of being an elder than this hard, fast definition.
Gotcha. I love your answers. They're very concise. Are you more prepared to take on the mantle of being an elder?
Oh, yeah. Does translate?
Yes, it does. So on a scale
Yes.
of 1 being totally unprepared and 5 being totally prepared, how prepared do you think you are to create your role as an elder? So, and you could tell me what the number is, and then what that means to
Well,
you.
I give it a 4. And because I'm not claiming that I know the territory, the whole of the territory, because I don't. And it's not even a problem that I don't. Matter of fact, I'm glad that I don't. I would call it expansion of the communal nature of elderhood. The communal nature of it, the whole viewing it as the communal possibilities of each of us being an elder. And then there's communal elder. As say 2 possible distinctions. My personal journey given my uniqueness as a human being into elderhood. And then there's elderhood as a community.